Welcome to Continued Expansion. I am your host, C, certified professional life coach, and I'm here to provide you with clarity and guidance while on your journey to connecting to yourself. We are bright, vibrant beings, but some of us live a life where we dim our light and we don't show up fully. And what this means is that you settle, you don't strive for the best, you don't do what makes you happy, and you may feel like you aren't living up to your truest potential. Many can relate, but we don't want to relate anymore. We have heard enough complaints from our families and friends and peers on how unhappy they are with their jobs and their lives, but now we want to inspire and make shifts into the direction that lights you up. So there are so many people that's making a living doing what they love and showing up fully in their purpose. So let's embrace what we want so that we can get more of it. So this segment is designed to highlight those individuals who truly live in color by doing what they love. So if you know someone or would like to nominate someone for this segment, please reach out to us at info@continuedexpansion.com. Today, I am so excited because we have Jason Jones, who is a speaker, a motivator, a life coach, and an entrepreneur. He has a company, Dream Redeemers, where he helps people reignite themselves and find their dreams again. So Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show, C. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Now, with everything that I just said, I don't know how you do it, but Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Well, let's see here. As you pretty much stated, I'm a speaker, motivator, life coach, all of that wrapped up in one. I founded a company called Dream Redeemers, which is pretty much designed to inspire, motivate, and cultivate dream chasers and purpose fulfillers around the world.
Okay. And I was reading a little bit of your bio on Dream Redeemers, and it talked about how you overcame a household that was domestic, that had domestic violence. So how did you rise up from that?
Well, it was pretty hard. It was a long process. So essentially, in the household, I witnessed a lot of things that were very pivotal to me as a child, and it kind of helped cultivate where I was going to go. But at the time, I didn't know it, right? I've always had these dreams, and being in that atmosphere kind of suppressed those dreams for me. It kind of helped me or made me feel like I could never get where I wanted to get to. I could never achieve the dream that I wanted to achieve just because of my surroundings, because of my background, and kind of because of the things I experienced, right? So that's kind of how a portion of how Dream Redeemers was kind of birthed.
Okay, and so since that's a portion, how did the other half of Dream Redeemers come to fruition? The
other half of Dream Redeemers came to fruition kind of basically what your segment is about, being stuck in a rut, not feeling fulfilled. I had went through college, played basketball through college, and got a job in corporate America, and everything was good, but there was just something that was always nagging on my soul that there's more out there for you. There are gifts that are inside of you that you're not utilizing. And so once that happened, I just started to do a little soul searching. I just became extremely bored, extremely stuck at where I was at, and I was like, there has to be more. So when I started to expound on what was more for me, it kind of led me in this direction of seeking out what my purpose was.
I love that. I love the fact that in your story, you started in a place where many will lose hope in their reality, and then you still found yourself, rose up out of the rut, and then you did what many normally do, go to their jobs and try to live the life, the American dream in the corporate world, and it still wasn't fulfilling for you. And the fact that you were able to honor yourself and know that that wasn't there and follow your dreams, it's so inspiring. And so I know the journey wasn't easy, even though how we say it, it sounds pretty right now, but can you tell us some of the things that you struggled with while in the process?
In the process of building out Dream Redeemers, or just in the process period of getting to purpose and getting to Dream Redeemers?
However you want to,
Well, I think one thing that is key is that getting to purpose is a process. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They just get into this mode where, like, I want to find my purpose, but they don't appreciate the process in the purpose. And the reason that is so important is because as you go through the process, there are things that are being cultivated in you for your purpose. So with me, as I was going through the process of the cultivation of my purpose, there were a lot of soul searching questions. It was kind of what makes me happy, what am I passionate about?
Yeah.
And what I come to realize was people. I wanted to help people. I wanted to see people show up and be the best them that they can be.
Yeah.
So that kind of, once I had that isolated, I kind of knew where I was going to go with it. Like, what did you dream about? Because for me, like I said earlier, I've always had these dreams, but what held me back or made me feel like I couldn't achieve the dreams was all of the negative stuff that I had went through, all of my past experiences. But it wasn't just the domestic violence portion of it too. It was, dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, all of that as well.
Yeah.
So that all played a role in me not being able to understand that the dream that I had was easily attainable. My purpose was just right out the window, ready for me to come chasing after it. So when I was laying there in my apartment, just kind of trying to figure it out, like, so what do I do now? What is this thing called purpose? What am I here for? God began to speak to me, and he said, I want to create in you this company called Dream Redeemers, to where you were once feeling like there was no way that you could achieve your dream. We're going to go out and help other people. We're going to redeem their dreams. You and I together are going to sit down with people, see where they're at in their life, and why do they feel that their dreams aren't achievable, and help them get to their dreams.
That's inspiring. I love that. I love how you truly followed your purpose, and even though in the beginning it seemed a little bit dim, you stayed true to finding that. And with what you said about your struggle, is there anything that you can say to anyone who might find themselves in a place of depression and anxiety and not knowing where they want to go? What can you give them to kind of help motivate them to stay forward and find their purpose?
I think generally when people fall into depression, I think it's because, well, I can't say it's because, I'm not going to give it a blanket statement, but I think we isolate ourselves. And I think we pay attention to the conversations in our head that says what we're not capable of doing. Probably conversations or seeds that have been dropped from people that were telling us we were never good at this, you can't do this, you won't accomplish this, because of their own insecurities that they've tried to project on us. And we hold on to those conversations and we replay them back and forth in our head. So I guess one thing for that is to always surround yourself with a great support group. And what I mean by that, people that truly care about you, regardless of any accolades, regardless of professionalism, where you want to be or where you're going, but just people that generally care about you and will speak life into you. I think that generally helps with the depression portion of it, or the isolation portion of it, which leads to a deeper depression.
Yeah. Yeah, in coaching, we call that the gremlin. The gremlin comes up in the back of your head and starts telling you, you're not good enough, you're not going to make it, you're not going to do this. And so it's like, how do we face the gremlin when it comes up? Because it's like, it's a part of you, so you don't want to dismiss it as if, okay, it's not there, because then you're not fully accepting and owning up to everything that's showing up within you. So it's like, how do you move forward with this gremlin here? So it's really nice to hear you talk about how you surround yourself with people who are going to also speak life into you. So when that gremlin do come up, like, you're not good enough, like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but I'm not going to accept that today, because I got people that surround me that loves me and that's telling me that I am going to make it and I'm going to be great.
And to your credit, with saying that, we also use this thing called capture and correct. As soon as you hear that negative thought, you immediately want to capture it and then respond with a positive thought. Respond with who you are. And for me, a lot of it was, after I captured that negative thought, I would respond with a Bible verse. I would respond with something that's affirming who I am and what I'm capable of doing.
So it's kind of like you're just reminding yourself, like, this is who I am.
Consistently.
This is my purpose.
Consistently.
So that I love that. So, I mean, life purpose is a tricky thing. I believe it's something that you're constantly finding. You just follow your joy. The more you find out about yourself, the more you'll be able to learn more about your purpose, and it's constantly unfolding. So what can you say to the people who think that your life purpose is a destination and they're having this anxiety where they're like, okay, I don't know what it is and I can't figure it out? What are some tips that you can give them?
Man, that's a great question. And as I stated previously, one, purpose is ever evolving. It's not stagnant. It's not this one spot that you get to, because you'll have purpose in being a husband, a wife, a father, professionally, or just individually alone. And with that being said, there are, how do I want to put it? Certain things like the process of purpose, right? You don't want to rush the process, because if you rush the process, the cultivation that's needed won't land you to your next spot on this journey and purpose, right? So essentially, you'll find out, which most people do, how did I end up back in this spot? How did I get here again? Why am I here again? And it's generally because there was a pivotal point that you missed in rushing the process and trying to get to your purpose.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to appreciate the process. We want to be patient in the process. We want to pick up whatever nuggets that we have during that time, and appreciate it, so that as we move forward, we don't have to revisit the past again and trying to get to where we are going on this journey to purpose.
I love that. So what I heard was, don't rush the process.
Don't rush the
Trust
process.
the process.
Trust the process.
And
yes.
you know, it's amazing, because saying that, okay, if you rush the process, you might think that you're going fast on your journey, but then when you turn around, you realize that you're still back at square one.
Right. I mean, it's the old saying, activity doesn't equal productivity. So you can rush and go as fast as you want to, but you'll miss something. And generally, if you miss something, it's going to bring you back to where, if you would have just took your time there and appreciated and gleaned what you needed to glean in that season, in that moment, and appreciated it, you'll have a better success story in your journey.
Nice. I love that. And so what is the future looking like for you?
Just consistently out speaking, motivating people, working with new clients, and just making people happy, whole, and helping them get to their dream chaser status and fulfilling their purpose.
Okay, nice. And so for our viewers out here that's watching and they're in the rut and they really don't know what their life purpose is, what can you say is something that they can do right now to kind of kickstart themselves into finding their purpose?
I would say spend more time with yourself. I think a lot of people are scared of those lonely moments with themselves. I think a lot of people are scared to get to know themselves, because when you get to the point where you truly know yourself, you'll start to know what makes you happy. You start to truly know what you're passionate about. And for me, when passion meets purpose, you won't ever have to worry about money again.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
When passion meets purpose, you will never have to worry about money again.
Yes.
I love that. So I really appreciate you sharing these nuggets with us. It's incredible to hear. Everyone, we have our struggles, especially when we're on this journey, but everyone has different takeaways from it, and everything speaks differently. So what you're saying might have touched me in a way, but it might have touched the viewers in another way. And so I do appreciate you coming on the show and
Thank you.
expressing how your process was and just being a success story for people to see. It's not often that we see someone like you that take a leap of faith, made it out of depression and anxiety, came out of a household that was that had domestic violence, but you still rose above that to create the life that you want, which is what we all are trying to do.
And I think a lot of times we sit back and we look at those obstacles. It could have easily been easy for me to sit back and say, woe is me. At 8 years old, I didn't deserve the atmosphere I grew up in. I didn't deserve what it led to as it pertains to the depression, as it pertains to the anxiety. But what happened was, what that did was, it set me up for success, actually, because it cultivated a skill in me that when I get around other people, I walk into a room, I can already tell what's in the atmosphere. I can tell what's going on. I can tell if people are bothered or if their spirit is uneasy. Because as a child, I had to walk in the room and check the temperature. I had to check to see if people were angry, if there was fighting going on, or how do I maneuver this and try to get everybody back happy on one accord, right?
Yeah.
So I think from a coaching standpoint, it allows me to sit down with individuals and really see, like, let's check in, let's see where you're at. You can give me any lip service you want, but I can really tell, like, where you're at. So I guess the lesson is don't always look at the negative as a negative. Take that negative and use it to help benefit you and propel you to where you're supposed to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing is designed to break you, only to build you.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, Jason Jones, for coming on the show, and thank you, viewers, for tuning in. This is the time where I would like to say how much of what we do in our everyday lives require a strong unit of support from a committed team. And I want you all to know that I am a part of your team, and I offer you my spiritual guidance. So if you want, you can follow me at Continued Expansion on Facebook or Continued_Expansion on Instagram for your daily insight, inspiration, and guidance for your in-the-moment needs. Moving right along, this part of the show is focused on growth, and growth comes through learning. So Expand Me is where I share some valuable lessons and insights with you, the viewers, in hopes that you can apply them to your own life. We don't want to be stuck no more. It's time to grow. Why is it so important that we continue to grow? And why is it important for us to stay open to learning new things? Because if we don't grow, then we're dead. So now don't take everything that I say literally, because many things that I say is given in a figurative context. So when I started Continued Expansion, it was because I realized that there is so much out there in the world that I don't know. Not only what's out there in the world, but also about myself that I don't know. So there are so many things that hinder our growth that we are unaware of. Things like television, drugs, alcohol, social media, food, our friends, and even our families. So if we stop growing, we're not in alignment with our purpose, and our lives start to lose meaning. Growth is the entire purpose of our existence, and I always like to look at nature to help me understand this concept. What life form can you find in nature that's not growing? Nothing at all. So we can say that our entire existence is based off of growth. So ironically, I realized the importance of growth when I found myself dead. I was not motivated, heartbroken. Everything I thought that I knew was a lie, and life seemed to be a cruel world. So at the time, my man was secretly gay. Yep. My close friend was diagnosed and was battling stomach cancer, and my career was just not fulfilling. And a bunch of other things and issues was going on. I felt alone, isolated, broken, and dead. I spent my whole life trying so hard to love other people and please everyone around me that I forgot to take care of myself. So how many of you can relate? I had nothing to spark my life. I asked myself one question: what would your life look like if you decided to give yourself the same love that you gave everyone else? This question saved my life. I soon realized that what we face in life is not designed to kill us at all. It is designed to help us expand. So every experience teaches you about yourself, but we must take the time to find the golden nuggets to help us build. And the moment you find yourself in misery, you must look inside of yourself and figure out what part of you are you resisting and where do you find yourself stuck. I am here to be a vessel to help you get unstuck on your journey of expansion. What areas of your life do you find yourself not in the flow? And what can you do today, right now, to change that? And that concludes our show, and I want to thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Jason, for making an appearance on our show. We would love to hear your feedback, so let us know what topics you want to discuss and what you'd like to see on the show. I am grateful to be here, and until next time, may peace and light be with you as you continue to expand yourself on your journey.